guys, it's Maggie here. Today I'm going to make some deodorant for my husband. Took a lot of convincing for him to try it. Actually, the first one he tried was from my daughter and he really liked it. But he asked that I change it just slightly because he wanted it a little softer. So I'm going to use the recipe that she gave me, and I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to it. Let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is get my organic beeswax pellets. Now I use the pellets because they're so much easier to measure. So I have my tablespoon. I'm going to put in 1 tablespoon of beeswax pellets into my glass measuring cup. Alright, that's done. And next I'm going to put in a tablespoon of shea butter, organic as well. I only use organic ingredients unless it's absolutely impossible to find. Because, you know, if I'm going to make something and I'm going to use my wonderful essential oils with it, I want to make sure I'm not putting any chemicals in that don't need to be there. And I don't know about you, but I really don't need to put aluminum in my armpits. I don't need all the hassles that come with that. So my shea butter, I need 1 tablespoon. Now I take it out with a knife because it's kind of solid but still soft and malleable. So I just put some, I'll just put it in the measuring spoon and pack it down in there until I get a nice level tablespoonful. So I'm just doing that now. Almost done. And see, it's full of shea butter, and I'm going to put that right in with the beeswax in the measuring cup. How simple is that? So far so good. Have you ever made deodorant before? I made one other one for him as a trial because I was changing the recipe, and he said it was perfect. So here I am. I'm doing it again, making him another tube of deodorant because, you know, you never want to run out of deodorant. So I've got that done, and I keep it in a Ziploc bag inside the other bag just for added protection. So back in it goes. Don't want the counter too cluttered when I'm making things, so as I use one thing up or, you know, add one ingredient, I toss it aside so I know I've done that and I can't mess it up. And it keeps things tidy. Okay, so the next thing I need is coconut oil. Now again, organic coconut oil, and it is the solid type, okay? Solid at room temperature. Because if you use the liquid, guess what would happen with that? It would kind of melt, and you'd have liquid deodorant. It wouldn't sit well in the deodorant stick. So again, I'm using my knife, a clean knife, because I don't want to mix the shea butter with the coconut oil. And I'm going to level that off just like I did with the shea butter and put in 2 tablespoons. So that's 1 tablespoon, and I need 1 more. I'm getting down in my jar of coconut oil. Thankfully I have lots more. I just like to kind of use one up before I open another. I'm sure you're all like that too. Okay, so second one of coconut oil in the measuring cup. Alright, so I've got 3 things in there so far. Coconut oil, shea butter, and beeswax pellets. Now, it says to put it in a double boiler. Well, you know what? In my trailer, I don't have room to keep a double boiler. So, I don't recommend this, but this is what I have to do. I'm going to put it in the microwave. And from previous experience, I know it's going to take at least a minute. So, hang on a second while I put it in there and turn it on. The oils, the shea butter and the coconut oil, they melt rather quickly. But it's the beeswax pellets that are tough to melt. So that's why it takes a little bit longer. And you really do need to have that all melted. So while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to get a napkin, a paper towel, and clean the oil out of my measuring spoon because I am going to need it for some dry ingredients. So there, that's good enough. Now I don't need the teaspoon anymore, so I'll put that in the sink. And I don't need those 2 knives anymore, so I'll put those in the sink. The one clean knife I do still need because I'm going to measure the other ingredients here. Let me just check this and see, not quite melted. We'll put it on for another 30 seconds. Don't want to do it, you don't want to really overdo it. Okay, so then, oh, I've used the coconut oil, get rid of that. Next thing I'm going to add is baking soda. Now, it's regular baking soda. I keep it in a jar, labeled, of course. I always label everything so I don't get it mixed up. I had a really big box, of baking soda, and it was like 2/3 empty. So I said, I'm not keeping the box, I'll put it in a jar. So that's what I did. Awesome, this is all melted. Now, it does tend to get a little warm, so I use an oven mitt to take it out and put it on the counter. Alright, we are ready for the next step. Ready. Okay, what do I need? I need 1 tablespoon of baking powder. So, what I do is, I heap the tablespoon, and then I take the back of the knife to scrape it off so it's flat. It's even, it's flat, does a fantastic job. And I can't really tip it, but you can see that I have baking soda in there. And I'm just adding that to the melted oils. Get rid of the baking soda. I'm going to take a little fork to mix it up a little bit because I don't want lumps if I can help it. Alright, so that's the baking soda. Now I need 2 tablespoons of arrowroot powder. I'm going to follow the same routine with it and the tablespoon and the knife, but I'm going to put 2 in it. So, there's my heaping tablespoon. This is really dusty if you get the flour, if you drop the flour. So I'm keeping it low. There's my first tablespoon, and I just scrape off the second tablespoon and put that in. Okay, and mix again so I don't get any big lumps. Now, so far, it's looking a little cloudy. but that's okay. Don't worry, it's actually going to look a little, well, I'll let you decide. I'll let you decide how it looks when I'm done. So I'm just going to do up this arrowroot flower so I don't get it all over the place. It's being stubborn, of course. Of course it's being stubborn. There. Now I can put that aside. All right. What else do we need? We need 1.5 tablespoons of bentonite clay. So, this is the one that I use, bentonite clay. It says Aztec something, Aztec Secret, but down here it says healing clay, and then it says bentonite clay down below. Again, get the best grade that you can get. Okay. And again, I'm going to level it off with my knife. So there's 1 tablespoon. And now I gotta kind of eyeball a 1/2 tablespoon, because nobody makes a 1/2 tablespoon, and I'm too lazy to go get all the other measuring spoons out. So this is kind of a brownish color, gray brown. That's the 1/2 tablespoon that I just put in. So that's 1.5 tablespoons of bentonite clay. And again, I'm going to mix it. I don't want any lumps. Oh, I guess I did need that teaspoon again. I forgot. Because I want to put in, this is the added ingredient that my husband requested. I am going to put in 1 teaspoon of olive oil. Again, organic olive oil. And 1 teaspoon. And hopefully that's all I get. I'm doing this left-handed. Okay, I just added that in there. Now I'm done with all of those ingredients. And I just mix that up. You really want to make sure you mix this well. And you can see the color that it is. It kind of looks green on my screen here. Maybe it'll look more to the brown side, gray brown, when you see it. But right here in this lighting, that's what it looks like. Now, as for essential oils, I'm going to use, lemongrass. Can you see that? Lemongrass. I'm going to use 2 drops of that. And it's really good that I took the time to stir everything in between, because that helps the liquid cool down a bit, so I don't feel bad about adding my essential oils to that. So 2 drops, 1, 2. If you get an extra drop of something, don't worry, don't throw it out, it's still good. And 2 drops of citronella. I don't know if you can read that. It's not easy to read on the screen anyway. I hope you can see it on your screen. But anyway, 2 drops of citronella. There you go, 2 drops of that. And 2 drops of Melaleuca alternifolia, also known as tea tree oil. And we all know the benefits of tea tree oil. So, we know that, I ended up with 3 drops, big deal. We all know that tea tree oil has been used a long time for certain things. And you can just Google those. I can't really go into detail, but yes. Anyway, beautiful gray-brown liquid. I have a deodorant container. Yes, I do have the lid. This is one of the large ones. You can get smaller ones if you want to have more containers of it. Maybe you want to share with somebody. Maybe you want a travel size. You know, whatever you want. There are smaller ones, and I can show you one. So all I did was, I can't really tip it now because I poured it in, but I poured the liquid into the container. And it fills one of those, and I'm just going to let that sit until it gets a little more cool and solidifies a bit before I put the lid back on. And that's it. Like, he loves it. He swears by it. I guess I do too. Hope you enjoy the recipe. Hope you have fun making it. I'll talk to you later. Bye.